Hello, Daniel. I'm really enjoying Goodbye to Language. It's a fantastic record, thank you. My question, though, is about the performance I saw you give with Rocco at Islington Town Hall in London last year, which was a fantastic gig. And you seemed to be remixing the band as they were playing live. So I wondered if you could talk a little bit about that process, please. Thanks very much.
Welcome to the laboratory. Um, Neil, thanks for your question. I know you're asking about what it is that we do live. And I have been mixing the band live to a degree. Uh, we're, we're bringing a little 8-track on the road these days. And that little 8-track has some components that we prepared in the recording studio. This is a way of bringing the recording studio to the stage. So I get to blend some of those ingredients. We feed the drummer metronomic time. I have echoes already set before the show. They were set in the studio. So if I send a component to the echo chamber, then I get a reliable preset echo. So a triplet, which is that classic Jamaican hey, 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 hey. Oftentimes we'll dial up a triplet echo. And given that we're at metronomic time, it allows me to apply that echo whenever I want. And so we can, the idea is we want to improvise on top of studio preparations. That way I get to have my fun with echoes and whatnot and dubs that belong to the night. These are all spontaneous expressions. And so we like to encourage a lot of fire from the band and a lot of fire from the studio. So this is not a cookie cutter arrangement that we essentially mime to on stage or anything like that. It's just we're using the studio preps as a way to expand our menu for a given night. And the results are radically different from night to night. Sometimes I may send one of my multi-track ingredients to a tripped out echo. Other times I can just use my guitar on stage. And Wayne Lorenz, who I work with, always has a channel of my guitar on my mixer as well. So we can go crazy with dubs on the live guitar. Or I'll give Wayne the eyeball and he'll do it in the corner while I'm at center stage. So that's it. That's well spotted, Neil. Yes. There are a few tricks up our sleeve these days, but all in the name of bringing the studio closer to the stage and the stage closer to the studio. The two worlds have finally arrived in one place in my mind. All right, Neil, take it easy, brother.
What do you do for fun that is imperative with your way of being?
Brandy, thanks for asking about fun. We do a lot of things for fun, but I should point out that for me, playing my steel guitar is still a lot of fun. And this is my old friend here, same model that I got when I was a teenager. And what's happened here is because I have very fat fingers, we've lowered the fretboard, this part of the neck here, down about maybe half an inch so I can get in there and do my muting. And I've got my little sampler on board here that Wayne Lorenz installed for me. Single pole, double throw for you tech heads. And that's it. Otherwise, this little fun has never changed. You know, it requires love and patience, and you got to play it as often as you can so that you keep your chops up and hopefully keep getting better. So anyhow, I just wanted to point that out to you, Brandy, that I do enjoy playing my little steel guitar, and it provides me with a lot of fun. And then if you want to follow me, Martha, I'll show Brandy the pool table. This is a very beautiful pool table from the 40s. It's a Brunswick anniversary. It has rosewood tops. And these rosewood rails here are a little bit like the rosewood fretboards on guitars. So it reminds me of my Les Paul when I'm playing pool. What's interesting about this game is it requires strategic mind to plan out a game. So the layout of the balls as we see them, in order to sync them, you have to have a plan. You know, the first one first, over to the second, the third one. So it's a bit like chess, but requires physical skill as well as mental skill. The reason I like this game is it reminds me of record making, because we have a grand strategy and a plan, but if we don't make that first shot, don't make that first ball, then you, in the case of pool, we don't get to carry on with the game. And it's a little bit that way in the studio. If we get a good first day in the studio, then it fills people with confidence, and you get to have another go at it on a second day. I mean, we don't always get great first days, but we try, and we get it most times. So that's it. Motorcycling is also something that I do. I'm not going to take you out to the parking lot right now to show you my bike, but motorcycling is good because I get to see life. I get to see what people are doing on the street. I get to breathe air, unfiltered air, and it allows me to concentrate and read minds, because when you're on a motorcycle, you have to imagine what's going on in people's heads that are in cars. They might be distracted, thinking about the kids, this, that, and the other thing. It means that they're not fully concentrated on their work. But I am on my motorcycle, in the same way that I'm fully concentrated when I'm in the studio. I'm not distracted. I don't take phone calls. I try and pay respect to the music. I try and be there for the strategy and for the point of strike, much like the pool game and much like life itself. All right, Brandy, take it easy.
Hi, Daniel. I would love to know why you changed the title of The Resonant Frequency of Love, which I thought was such a perfectly evocative name for that melody. What what made you change it to Sati? What did you find on your adventures when making Goodbye to Language that made that change apparent to you? Thanks.
Courtney, thanks for asking about the resonant frequency of love. For those who don't know, there's a title on my new record called Sati. It's named Sati, and it's one of the selections on a new record called Goodbye to Language. It's a steel guitar record that I made with my good friend Rocco DeLuca. He's a slide player, and I'm a pedal slide player. We started with The Resonant Frequency of Love as a title, and I thought it was funny because in these holistic times, people imagine that they can find the resonant frequency of something or other in the way that, you know, you might find something within color therapy and aromatherapy, and so resonant frequencies they're a bit like standing waves, and somebody might say, well, my heart resonates at 144 hertz or whatever it might be. So a little bit as a joke, we decided that we should let the world know that we found the resonant frequency of love that everybody's been looking for. And we had a little bit of a release, a pre-record release on Valentine's Day with that. And so that was fun. But in the end, there were a couple of heads at the record company that said, it sounds too much like a gag, you know, why don't you just come up with a title that can live on properly. And it was, I think, originally provisionally titled Sati because some of it reminded me of some of Eric Satie's work, melodically. So that's it. We got scared in the end and we called it Sati rather than The Resonant Frequency of Love. And I kind of wish we'd stuck with The Resonant Frequency of Love, but that's life. And Courtney, thanks so much for listening to our music. We really appreciate it. And thanks for paying attention to the details like titles.